The lights are dim, the windmill is spinning, and we are back, baby.
That's right. Welcome to Secrets in the Elephant Room, where we talk about life, love, and all the girls' trips in between.
So sit back, grab your plane tickets, or just pull up your calendar, and let's get into it.
If you guys are new here, my name is Peyton.
And I'm Dalany.
And this week's elephant is I'm having a crash out because of the amazing film, The People We Meet on Vacation. And now I need to find a way to get the job that Poppy has and go to Europe regularly.
I second that.
My God, that film. First, we're just going to talk about The People We Meet on Vacation. I bought the book. It's on its way. I'm so ready to read it.
I was gonna buy it today on my little excursion, but I actually didn't get around to it, surprisingly. But maybe that'll be like a later on read for.
I bought it. It's really funny because right before I watched it, we were talking about early 2000s and 90s rom-coms. And I think that is the closest that we have gotten recently. Besides, like, I think the most recent that I would say reaches that level is To All the Boys I Loved Before. This film was just, like, visually stunning, hilarious, and ultimately so sweet.
I loved it. I think it just, we were talking about it earlier because Delaney was sick for a while, and that's all the media she was consuming because she needed some happiness in her life to balance out all the chaos going around the world around us. So she decided to pull out the rom-coms, and Peyton was jumping on the bandwagon, and we watched He's Just Not That Into You Again. And we were just like, why isn't there any movies right now that could just give us this same level of, like, I don't know, like, serotonin, good vibes. And then ironically, I was like, actually, I have this movie on Netflix. You should watch it. No, it was so good. I love Poppy, and I think his name's Alex's character so much.
Mhm.
They're just so cute. I love a good slow burn. And just
I'm also just in love with Emily, the girl who plays Poppy.
Yes.
My Lady Jane also kind of fits those vibes a little bit, but like put back in the Regency era. Is it Regency? Yeah, it's Regency. No, it's not.
I think so.
This is post-Tudor, so the Tudor era. But can you hear Jasper?
A little bit, but not too bad. I love that show, though. I'm so sad that they didn't renew that for a season 2.
Yeah. But I've been in love with her since that show, and now anything she's in is an immediate watch for me. And yeah, they were just, it was peak romance, peak rom-com.
Plus, like, who wouldn't want to go on a vacation every summer with, like, your best friend?
Oh my gosh. And I've talked about wanting to do travel writing for so long. Like, I don't know. Everybody, like, they kept joking about, like, this is everyone's dream job. And yeah, it kind of is. But, like, I think the entire message is so good. Everyone needs to go watch it ASAP. Yeah.
Yes. Period. Closed chapter. Overall, 10 out of 10. But it got us thinking, and we do technically have a girls' trip coming up, even though Peyton's not technically I mean, you are going to a different area, but
Yeah.
it's like there is a girls' trip planned, but Peyton and I are always sending stuff. If you don't do this with your best friend, like, what are you doing? Like, whether it's a
Yes.
TikTok, an Instagram reel, or a post, like, of some location, and you're not like, let's just book a flight right now. Let's just go. Even though realistically that's a hard no, because we have big girl jobs, and it's so difficult to plan that. And I wish I was more spontaneous like that. But yeah, this movie definitely got us in that headspace again, and we were like, so when's the next girls trip? What are we
Oh
doing?
my god. And the fact that they have it planned every summer that they go on a trip together is, I don't know. There's something about the consistency in that I would love. Problem is, when you plan things, the universe laughs at you. So it's a mix of like trying to find the balance of, yeah, we want to plan and do something every year, but also how can we pull this off?
Yeah, like if we were to do it this summer, would we meet in the middle? Because you're all the way in the west. I'm in like the middle slash kind of middle, more towards east.
Where are we gonna go? Freaking Idaho? No.
Yeah, like where in the middle are we gonna go? Are we just gonna go to a state? Are we gonna go overseas? Are we gonna go on a theme? Like, and maybe this is just us overthinking, and we need to stop overthinking and just go and be like, "Hey, I saw this thing. Let's do it." I don't know. We were just like laughing about it, and Payne's like, "What are we gonna do?" I'm like, "Well, I know I'm gonna be on the East Coast at this time. We can work off that, or like we could meet in the middle somewhere." But then it's like you don't want to waste a trip. But then it's like, is it really a trip wasted if you're with your best friend and you're experiencing something new and you're making a funny memory? I don't know if that's considered a waste.
I love you. We're not meeting in the middle. In the middle,
What's
there's
even in
not
the middle? I
much.
need to look at a map.
We're not meeting in the middle. That's like Wyoming, South Dakota.
I like how I need a map for this and you don't, because I suck with geography. Hello. All right. You're all the way over there. I'm all the way. Montana?
Yeah, no.
North, South Dakota?
What do you do in Montana?
I think you can, like, hike if we went
You
on, like, a
can.
hiking trip. You know what? I've always wanted to do a cowgirl trip. We could get on some horses, go to a ranch. We could be ranch hands.
Delaney, I had to drive through all of that this
That's
last
true.
summer. I have no interest. I'm sorry. We gotta find something better for our first annual girls trip.
Wyoming? I don't even know. What's even in Wyoming?
Who freaking knows?
Am I just being, like, state biased right now? Like, I feel like these states probably have some beautiful mountains. Maybe, but it's like, is that what we want our girls' trip to be?
No, we gotta plan a better girls trip than that.
Yeah, it's either I'm going all the way to the west, we're going all the way to the east. There's some things. Whoa, Jasper is like, he is not happy about the girls' trip. All I heard was "Meow."
I know.
Who knows? We'll figure it out. Yeah, I'm just looking at it. To me, it's all flat land.
I'm sure we could find something. Like, there is cool stuff to do. But I think I would rather us make our dream list and actually go to places that we like dream of going to.
That's smart. That would
Because
be a
I
good,
love you, but why the fuck is your first thought meet in the middle?
like, cost wise, and like, it's easier that way. I
Okay,
don't
but
know.
either way, we're gonna have to fly.
Yeah.
Unless you want to drive like a day.
No, not really. Well, maybe.
Um,
I don't know.
and with any location in that area, there are not direct flights.
That's true.
So
See,
no.
some things that see, this is why you have two sides of the coin. You have Pan who's thinking about all the facts. I mean, that's just like, let's just do this. the the
There's
idea.
cooler places to travel to.
I agree. I agree. I don't know. We were just throwing it out there as, I don't know. I have no idea. It could have been something spontaneous. Be in the middle.
This is not spontaneous that we're planning. We're planning a trip. We're
It's
not
true.
doing spontaneous. That would be like one weekend we're like, hey, let's just meet in the middle. That's spontaneous. This is us talking about actually planning a trip for next summer.
That's true. That's true.
Gosh, Delaney.
I think
We haven't done many girls trips. us. Most of ours have been, like, trips. You and I have not, like, actually traveled together.
I've been on girls' trips with other people.
Shade.
Um, like, the ones I can think of off the top of my head have been Cancun.
Here's
I
the
did
thing about Cancun, and I'm gonna be salty here a second.
Okay, rip me a new one.
I wasn't invited
I
until the last second, and everything was already booked.
Yeah, that's true. She's right. That was a fake moment on my part. I think there was just things going on that we didn't think that you would go, 'cause you had something you were getting ready for, and we
Graduating?
yeah, and I think we were just like, "There's no way she's gonna have the time. She's not gonna wanna drop that money right now." So we just didn't say anything until we were talking about it, and then you were like, "Well, can I come?" We were like, "Oh, shit, she's serious. She wants to go." And then that's when I was like, "Fuck, everything's already, like, ready to go." But, like, we could add you on there, and then by that point, it was yeah, everything was already getting put into motion, and I think you were about to go back to school, but yeah, that was bad. I know Angela wanted to go on that one too, but we just kept it to the 4 of us to actually get it in the books, and then we just went for it with a travel agent at that time. Yeah, I don't know. There's no excuses, but I think too, there's also the line of, like, when you're planning these, when you have people who are, like, so ready to go, everything just clicks and moves so fast, you know?
Yeah.
Because you don't want anyone to back out. Like, last-minute backouts are, like, the worst fucking thing for planning these trips. I don't maybe I had that happen once, and this was a long shot. Like, this wasn't even gonna be, like, a real girls' trip, but this is one I can remember. It was last minute back out, right? We wanted so at the time, this I was in high school, and there was this group called Pretty Much, and, like, I was obsessed with them with these other girls, and we were gonna go to Michigan to go to their concert, and it was just gonna be this last minute thing, and we were all about ready to go and get the tickets, and one of us backed out. I'm not saying who because I'm a real one, and that's not nice, but one of us backed out last minute, and it just, like we were so pissed because we had planned this for so long, we were all ready to go, and then it's like you have to redo the entire budget when you're putting it down from 3 to 2 people, and yeah, it was just a whole thing. So, yeah, those trips were definitely, like we just didn't think you wanted to go on the Cancun one. We didn't think that was your vibe at all. And then what's funny about that is you ended up going to on the wedding trip.
Yeah, to the Dominican.
Yeah, and you went to, like, a tropical place like that, and I was like, "Shit." Like, she would've gone.
Like, yeah, it's probably not like, I don't know that I'm the person who's like, "Ah, yes, I wanna go sit on a beach all week." Yeah, that could be fun. I wanna go do things while I'm there. Like, when we went to the Dominican, we went swimming with dolphins, we went on I forget what it's called, but just like a giant boat ride,
A catamaran?
thank you.
I love that.
What else did we do? We did a lot. I went horseback riding on a beach. That was so much fun. But it's things like that, like, I don't wanna have to sit on the resort the entire time. 'Cause, yeah, sitting around drinking can be fun, but not all the time.
Well, that was definitely mostly that girl's trip. That's what it
Yeah.
was. It was just we made vacation friends. We did do a catamaran day trip, which was fun, but that was the only thing we had booked
Yeah.
because I already had a girls trip with Hannah before, and I did the swimming with dolphins thing and stuff, and I know that not everyone wanted to go on excursions just because accommodating too for, like, people's flying, like, schedules, like, how they work with time zone, climates, all that medical stuff, like, keeping that into consideration too was, like, a big one. But, yeah, I would say that's, like, the main girls' trip I remember. The only other ones I can think of was our Boji trips, was always the girls' trip we would go on
Yeah.
consistently. Um, and we did that a lot, which
Yeah.
was always fun.
That was always a good time. I don't know. I haven't been on many like, girls' trips in the fact that, like, going out with my friends and stuff. I've done a lot with Not even a lot with my family. I've gone on cruises, we were supposed to go to Florida, and then we were supposed to go to DC, but COVID really messed up a lot of that. We did go on a national parks trip, my family and I. We went through a few different national parks, but I haven't been out of the US very much, and I think that's one of my biggest things. Like, yes, the US is so big. A lot of people are confused of how you can travel the US, the same country, and see so many different things, but it's so real. But I really, really want to get out of the US a little bit more. I want to do a country marker and visit a ton of different countries.
That would be awesome. I did that with not like my grandma. That was another girls' trip. That trip was interesting. Like, was it one of the best trips ever? Yes, to some extent, but also, oh my goodness. It was a doozy. It was a doozy.
Yeah.
Trying to navigate your grandma through a country that you've never been to before and like you're trying to figure everything out. Oh my goodness. It was insane. But I mean, all of the experiences I'm very grateful for, but holy crap. Man, I think we went to like a couple different places. We started in London, went to Paris, went to Venice, went to Rome. Those were like the main places. By the time I got to Venice, I think I was so fed up, I about threw her suitcase by the time we got to Rome because she carried this huge ass bag. And this thing, I swear to God, it weighed like 100 to 150 pounds. This
Ew.
thing was heavy. It was hard to carry. In Venice, there's a lot of freaking stairs, and you have to walk everywhere over these bridges. And Nana she could not carry her suitcase, just I had to do it. And then I had to freaking get it off the train somehow out of the top freaking caboodle or whatever and get it into Rome and then drag it all the way through these freaking rough ass streets to our hotel. I think I kicked her suitcase. I was like, this goddamn suitcase, I'm gonna kill it. I was so mad. My God, that was insane. Oh my goodness. But I would love to go back. It's just, man.
You have to have the right travel partner for different places. Like, I love my family dearly, but my grandmother, I cannot travel with her. Cannot. And I'm the one who, if we travel together, we always get roomed together.
Why?
I don't know. Don't ask me. I'm not the one who decides these things.
Yeah, I definitely, I would say traveling wise, I'm pretty good at staying calm in a crisis. I would say I'm like the go-to person to get us out of a hole, but not like freak out about it. Like I'm pretty good like in this bad situation. I like stay pretty calm. I'm also the type of person who like wants to go do things, but I can also relax. But also I'm like, let's make the most of it while we're here. Like I'm
Yeah.
a very like, let's make the most of it. Let's go 110%. This is awesome. All this stuff. So like having someone who's like the opposite of that traveling with me, I know is not necessarily like, can I do it? Yes. Have I done it? Yes. Is it necessarily the best? It doesn't align the best way, but it can work. You just gotta jam it together a little bit. And I've had my girls' moments where I've butt heads with people on some girls' trips. I have gotten into some arguments, I'm not gonna lie. Which,
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like that just happens though. I mean, everyone has their own opinions and like can deal with crises in different ways and stuff. And there's always that like saying where it's like, or you see the TikTok or video or whatever, and it's like before the girls' trip, and everyone's like, "Oh my God, this is so great!" Everyone's so excited, and then after the girls' trip, dead silence. Or the saying of like they go there being friends, come back they're not friends anymore. The people you could travel with, I feel like that's like another level of friendship in a way, maybe. Or it's a good
No,
tester of
it's
friendship.
definitely like it's kind of like you can be friends with people, but it doesn't necessarily mean you can live with people. Like,
Yep.
just because they're a good friend doesn't mean that they would be a good roommate or anything like that, and you have to think about that with travel too. Oh my god. Jasper's playing fucking soccer with this toy.
He's like, "F
Bro!
you, mom. Let's not record an episode about you leaving me."
I know.
He knows.
Well,
He can
and it's
sense
so
it.
funny because going home for the holidays and stuff was my first time traveling by myself, and I had Jasper with me.
Oh, goodness.
God damn it. Do I take it from him?
What's he gonna do if you take it from him? How is he gonna retaliate?
No.
Imagine he just gets up by your mic and starts swatting at it.
Oh my god.
If he did that, I might cry.
Oh my god, this is so sorry.
It's okay.
But anyway, these flights back home and back here weren't bad. Jasper did an okay job. TSA fucking sucked. But what I realized about myself on these trips is, man, I could love traveling by myself. It's less fun that way. Like, obviously, here's where it's gonna be a little bit easier for us on these trips. We're not hopping on flights together, which I feel like is one of the most stressful parts for some people, is like the actual getting there and getting back part.
For
When
sure.
you're at the place doing the thing, it's a lot less stressful, I feel like. So I
I
feel
can
like
agree.
that's what's gonna help us in this situation. I also think we have mild enough tempers about the same things that we're not gonna be, because we've done very small girls trips and it's never been a problem because we're both very like, oh, this thing happened, well, okay, let's figure it out beyond there. Neither of us are like, we're gonna panic about the thing. We're like, we're gonna get our head down and get it fixed kind of thing. So I feel like for us, it'll be okay. I definitely know that like some other people in our life, it gets a little stressful to be around that.
I would say the only thing I could think of being our downfall if we were to travel together, right? Just besides taking out the airport thing, because yeah, that is one of the stressful. I've had so many interesting experiences at the airport by having to travel for work. It's not even funny. Especially
Yep.
red eye time. You meet some interesting people for red eye
Oh
time.
my God, tell me about it.
I think our downfall would either be our indecisiveness. Like, where do you want to go? Well, where do you want to go? And like, we would go back and forth, which is why we can't do spontaneous, because we're both a little too spontaneous in the sense of, okay, yeah, we want to go here, and then it's like, oh right, we can agree on a couple things, but then we'd have a random afternoon, and it'd be like, where do you want to go to eat? Okay. And then I go, where do you want to go to eat? All right, I'll make it easier. Do you want sushi or pizza? And you're like, well, do you want sushi or pizza? And
Here's
then
my problem is I'm a little freaking people pleaser in the fact that I want you to get what you want. But there's something in the back of my mind that's like, okay, I know I want this, but will go without it if she doesn't want it.
and my thing is, I genuinely just don't care. Like, I'm like, just like, make a decision. I could go either way and I'll be happy. And Peyton's just like, yeah, but like, what do you want? And I'm like, I just told you, Peyton. I just told you. We're thinking about it now is fucking hilarious. Like,
Yeah.
it'd be so funny. That would be one thing. And two, if there even is a problem, it would just be passive aggressiveness. Like, we would never confront each other at all. This is what would happen. It would build up on the trip, right? Obviously, like, that's if there's a big problem, which most likely I do not see that happening. But if there were a problem, right? Yes, we would fix it, but then it'd be like we wouldn't tell each other the other person's upset, and then the other person would think, "Oh my god, they're upset." And then at that point you wouldn't be upset, and then it would create this like this like will they won't they get into a bitch fight. It's so funny. Like, I'm just laughing because this is, like, how we are, and it's so fucking funny, and
But
I
I
don't.
know we would still be friends after the trip
Oh, for
because it'd be,
sure.
like, a week where we wouldn't talk about it, and then one of us would be like, "Can we talk about the
Yeah,
trip?"
exactly. It'd be like, "So were you actually mad at me?" And it's like, "Bitch, no, I wasn't, but let me tell you, when you couldn't decide sushi or pizza, I about smacked up." Like, it would be like something like that, which is why I'm laughing because it's just so funny, but oh my goodness. Yeah, back to the airport thing though, like, I've never traveled with a pet, but I've watched people travel with a pet. And I do not know how Chili would be on it, like in an airport or on airplanes because he doesn't like people. He'll bite people. Like he has no
Same
teeth.
with Jasper.
But like if a TSA lady's like, "Let me pet the puppy." I'm like, "No, don't pet the puppy. The puppy does not want you to pet it. He's just my little lap dog." And I don't know, like that would freak me out. But back to like I've
This
had it
only
happen.
wanted to be Jasper's best friend so bad, and I think that's what pissed him off the most. Because the first time through TSA, he was a menace. He hated everything about this, and then our time coming back, he was fine. He let the lady pet him.
I don't know. Bipolar. We never know what's going on with our pets. But yeah, I couldn't even imagine it. I don't think I've ever, knock on wood right now. I don't think I've ever gotten stopped by like TSA for anything bad. I did when I was a kid. My dad actually got stopped, but it's cuz he had like salt from the ocean on him. And, like, they saw that and they were, like, bringing him to the room, and Mac and I thought he was, like, getting taken away forever, and Mac started bawling in the airport, and I was like, "Where's my dad going? What's going on?" And everyone's like, "Calm down, kids, he just has to talk to the people," and they're like, "They're taking him into a room! It's never good when they take people into a room!" And we're all, like, freaking out. That was the only TSA problem that I've had, but I've had it happen where I've had a work trip, and for some odd reason, Delaney just thinks that taking a 5 a.m. flight is so smart. I'm not doing that anymore. This is so ridiculous. I can do it, but like, do I get any work done when I get there early? Fuck no. So why the hell am I taking a 5 a.m. flight when all my other coworkers are taking the later flight? Take the later flight, Delaney. But I had
Well,
it happen where last minute I sat down in my seat, flight canceled, and I had to like rebook everything in the airport. That freaked me out. I was like, "I'm gonna miss my whole work trip. Like, my career's over. This is gonna be this is the end. This is the end." I did get it figured out, but holy crap, I literally and then I had to run through MSP, and that's a pretty big airport. I mean, it's
mhm.
not as big as, like, Chicago or anything, but, like, it's a pretty big airport, and I had to take the train and go through the terminals, and I was, like, lost because there's construction going on, and I'm just sitting there freaking out like, "Oh my Jesus. Oh my god, I'm not gonna make it. It's not happening for me," but I made
See,
it, so it's okay.
yeah, that's SeaTac and I have a little bit of beef, and that's
What?
just that.
Z-Tac?
SeaTac,
What is C-Tac?
my airport.
Oh, 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 oh. Duh.
Yeah, you just said MSP, like, everyone should know what that is.
Sorry. I keep forgetting.
That's why I said SeaTac. Most people know what SeaTac is because it's the only airport, well, not the only airport into Seattle, but it's the most famous one. But I wanted to get home at a decent time, and I got home at 2:30. Not bad. It was it was okay, but I decided to do Uber instead of parking my car because that was gonna be so much more expensive than taking a half an hour to 45-minute Uber, and man, the only reason I was ready for it, I was gonna stay up all night and somehow accidentally fell asleep, and luckily, Uber has an alarm setting, so I had that, thank God, but that was rough, and then on my way back, SeaTac took an hour to get our baggage out and put another flight that landed after us. They put their baggage out first, and I was so pissed. The poor Uber driver who was driving me back was messaging me, and he's like, "Hey, you landed like a half an hour ago. Are you like waiting for baggage? What's going on?" And I was like, "Yeah, they haven't even started putting our baggage out."
I wish I knew Uber had an alarm setting. You
They
wanna know
do.
why? Let me tell you a story. So, this was my most recent girls' trip, right? I was going to New Hampshire / Boston to go visit Via in the East Coast. And I set like 6 alarms. I was ready to go. I was all packed. My clothes were laid out. I was super prepared. My phone updates or restarts or something because my phone had a whole new software update. I did not know this and I did not authorize it. I woke up to a shit ton of notifications from Shiku and her sister asking me where I am because they're at the airport. Uber blowing up my phone because I missed my Uber. And I look at the time and I have 1 hour to get to my flight. It was not possible. With traffic, with security, with everything, I was like, the next best thing I can do is just book a new flight. So instead of, this is what I mean by under pressure. Did I think I ruined our whole girls' trip? Did I have a little mini panic breakdown? Yes. Did I call Via and have a very sad voicemail for her of how I ruined our trip and I'm so sorry? Yes. Did she call me back and calm me down? Everything was okay? Yeah, obviously everything was okay because I booked a new flight. But the hindsight, right? So I get to the airport. I have this new flight. I get sat next to this guy. Apparently he's like some COO or like chief business officer or something for this like logistics company. And we start talking business and I'm just networking. I'm making a new friend. He was a really nice guy. He like offers me a job. And I'm like, whoa. So I love networking on a plane. I think that is so fun. But then like, I also sometimes I do enjoy just sitting on an airplane and not having to talk to anybody. But I also really enjoy the talking because I'm a talker. Like, I like yapping, and it makes the time go
Crazy.
faster for me. If I can't yap, I have to watch a movie. The only time I ever fell asleep on a flight, which after this I've fallen asleep on a flight maybe once or twice, and that's just from pure exhaustion. Especially after my work trips, I get so tired coming back home. But Europe, I had the magical combination of what are those not Lemmy sleep gummies? They're like the purple packaging ones. They're different. They're
Don't
like in a
ask
travel
me.
case. They're melatonin gummies. Between that, a Tylenol PM, and then I think I drank a glass of milk. I knocked out the entire flight to Europe. And I woke up 1 hour before we landed. And the lady next to me was like, "You were out for so long. Like, I really need to pee." And I'm like, "I'm so sorry."
Just get up. Wake you up. What the heck?
She didn't wake me up. She was a nice gal. She let me just knock out. She's like, "I'm impressed you slept the whole time." I'm like, I was drugged up, man. I was prepared.
I sleep on almost every single flight. I don't know if it's just like, because the plane sounds is like white noise. Jasper was asleep every single flight. He was knocked out. I think he's used to my sleep routine, so he's like, yeah, this is prime for mom, so I'm
Yeah.
out too. But like, I fall asleep on almost every single flight. The only flight that I didn't on my most recent trip was the flight that I had the whole row to myself.
Dude, I that's the rare occurrence. That's the beauty of a red eye sometimes is you'll get that opportunity
Mm-hmm.
because those flights don't fill up normally and you can just lay out and just knock out.
Yep.
Have you ever had like an oh shit moment on a plane?
What do you mean?
Like you had really bad turbulence and you were like, "Oh shit, this might be it."
I have severe anxiety that just recently got medicated, Delaney. Of course I've had those moments. The flight, so when we went to the Dominican for my aunt and uncle's wedding, you have like a flight to Florida and then we had the flight to the island. And some of those planes are sketchy as fuck. So yes, I've had those moments. Not recently. I feel fine. I will say, my flight back from the Dominican to the Omaha airport, I was throwing up.
Ooh.
And the entire drive back to our hometown, we had to stop like every half an hour for me to throw up.
Heck no. Thank God that has not happened to me.
I think it's because Duncan served me some bad coffee.
Ugh. I think there was one time where there was super bad turbulence. Actually, there was twice. Twice times. So, the first time, Disney when I was a kid, and it was
I want to go back to Disney so bad.
we could plan that as one of our
Can that be
bucket
our
list
trip?
Yeah, we could do Disney.
Can we go drink around the world at EPCOT?
EPCOT. Hell yeah, I would go do that at Disney. Ugh.
That's what I really, like, when we were talking about this last night, I didn't want to be like, actually, can we just go to Florida and do Disney and EPCOT?
Florida or Cali? There's 2, right? There's 2 Disneys.
Florida. You go to Florida.
Oh, Florida is EPCOT. I literally went there. I'm a fucking idiot. Anyway.
Well, also, if I'm gonna have a chance to meet my husband, we gotta go to Florida.
We're going to Florida. We are making this connection happen. We are gonna meet him at the EPCOT ball. I can feel it. I'm calling the shot.
Oh my god, what if we message him and we're like, hey, meet us at EPCOT. We'll buy your ticket.
Here's my friend's resume. Hear us out. We're going to be at EPCOT at this time. She will be wearing this outfit.
I haven't been since I was a child. We need a good tour guide. What if we propose it like that?
We need a tour guide, and we need to drink around the world. That is our goal, but we want to do it safely. And who better to lead us around the world than Disney veteran himself, who just ran a 10K there, Jackson Olson, Savannah Bananas. He can help us. I would trust that man to lead me around the EPCOT ball. I think he's a trustworthy fella. Maybe. But I think Jackson is responsible, and he'd be like, he's like, I know exactly where to go. I literally ran the 10K here not that long ago. I'm going to lead you guys, and you guys are going to be safe, and it's going to be a fun time. And to pay him, we'll buy him his drinks around the world. We'll pay you in drinks.
Oh, heck yeah. That was going to be my other proposal.
Go to a banana ball game?
Either find a place to go to a banana ball game, or try to figure out how to get where to go for an F1 race.
F1 race, I can plan that out. It's either Austin, Vegas, Florida. Those are the main 3.
So I'm hearing we have to go to Florida.
We can. We can do Miami Grand Prix or Disney EPCOT ball. Or both. I'm just kidding. We're going to go broke.
All of the above. And you know what's really close there? Georgia. For the Savannah Bananas.
Yes. We can knock this out. This will be the epic girls trip of 2027? I think what rides on this, because F1 will come out later. Those tickets come out later, is Banana Ball. If, like, you can get the Banana Ball ticket, then it's like, that's the universe saying, let's go, girls. Let's go, girls.
We could try for next summer, too, though.
Yeah, because, like,
I also said that for my graduation celebration, Europe or Greece.
That's something you have to consider, because, like, a 3-in-1 whammy is a pretty big whammy. That's like a Triple Crown girls trip right there. We will be on the go the entire time. F1 takes at least a whole day. Like, you're at the Grand Prix all day. Disney is an all-day thing for me. Especially if we're Epcotting, drinking at Epcot. Banana Ball, yes, we're gonna go to the game, but that we can work that in there, I feel like. The other 2 are like, those are for sure one day or multiple day things. But yeah, that will be like the triple crown winner girls trip right there. Banana Ball Disney F1 race. And then part 2 will be Europe. Maybe.
Oh my god. Okay, so what are some of your, like, dream vacations? Like, dream destination places to go?
I would say, I'm trying to, like, break it up from US to, if I'm going to start in US. I would say some of my dream ones, New York is one. I want to go to see Broadway.
Oh my god, yes.
New York, I think it would be really cool timeline-wise. I think it'd be awesome to see the Rockefeller or be there on a New Year's Eve just for funsies. But also the New Year's Eve thing, I could take it or leave it. That was more like saying I did it type of thing. Yeah. But Broadway is, like, for sure I would go to, like, multiple Broadway shows or take in the theater down there. I've always wanted to go to Nashville. That
has been something coming up a lot recently in my life. A lot of people talking about Nashville, and there's a possibility I might be going to Nashville soon.
Josh has been trying to plan this trip with us for so long, and we just never pulled the trigger on it, but I would love to go and do a trip on Broadway just to see the live music and the line dancing and all of that. I would love to do that. That's another one. I've always wanted to go to California. I don't know what I would do in California, but California, Florida, I think those are more like my beachy trips. Um, I've always wanted to do, like, a national parks trip and do, like, something like that, like, hike the Grand Canyon was one that was on my bucket list. Um, see, oh my fucking god, Yellowstone, I think would be beautiful,
I
like,
loved Yellowstone. It
I
was a
would
good
go
time.
I love that. Those are, like, as of right now, things that I would do in the US.
Right.
Then and then obviously Seattle, but that's gonna happen, and yeah, I would say those ones. Then I'd love to go back to Canada. I loved Canada. Like, I
I've
loved
never
going to
been.
Banff, Calgary, blah, 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 was so fun. I would go back to the Stampede. I'd go see Lake Louise again. But I would love to go to Canada with Shiku because she would show me a side of Canada I've never seen before. And that's what I would go back for Canada for. But that's also for like the parks and stuff. If I were to go back overseas, I'd go to Paris again. I loved France. I loved Paris in particular. I would go it was such a I had an amazing experience there. I wanna try London again because I had an okay time when I went, but it could have been better, but I'd love to go again just to try it out. I'd love to go to Italy. I don't know if I'd go back to Rome. Maybe again, that's, like I'd have to, like, give it another shot, but, like, it was cool, but I also just didn't have as much fun, I think, as I did in Paris, so it wasn't, like, as cool for me. Venice was beautiful, and I wanna go back to Tuscany. I will go back because Tuscany was the most beautiful place I have ever seen in my life. I felt like I was a Disney princess the entire time, and I wanna feel that feeling again and be a Disney princess. I'd go back to Tuscany. I'd love to live a Mamma Mia moment in Greece, add that on the bucket list. I'd love to do an Ireland, Scotland trip and see, like, the Highlands and stuff like that as well. I think that would be amazing. Yeah, Nepal's also on my list, but that's, like, more of a Shikuvia trip that is on there. That's the reason why. I don't know. I don't know if I would go to, like, Korea or not. Like China. I hear a lot of people go to those places and, like, I've always wanted to experience a 7-Eleven over there. 110%. Like,
Okay.
that is, like that would be amazing. That would be so cool to try. Also, like, trying their skincare treatments and stuff or their clinics that are, like, cheap. Like, I would love to try that just to see. But yeah, I would say, like, maybe that's a maybe. But I would say those are, like, just some things I can think of off the top of my head. Like, go, go, go. I've also always wanted to do Ibiza. Ibiza? Is it Ibiza or Ibiza?
Ibiza.
Ibiza? That's, like, for my party girl era. I would always wanna go to a club there. I think that'd be cool to say I did it. Bora Bora has always been on my bucket list. I think that would be amazing. Beautiful. Nice, relaxing time. That's, like, what my Bora Bora trip would be if I could have one. Think that might be it that I can think of on the top of my head right now. Long ass list, but, like, why not? You only live once. YOLO.
Rightfully so.
What about you? I know London's on there.
Yeah, England in general, I think I could spend months there. I was on the phone with my favorite professor the other night. Her and I called. She's the one who actually is like, "You need to be a travel writer." She's the one who is like, there is nothing else better for you to do. Like, you are so well fitted for this. And she's actually the one who had me do, like, a ton of research on different locations. So I have, it's somewhere. I have it saved somewhere. I don't know where it is, but I have a list of very, very specific spots that I wanna go check out historically. But she was encouraging me for my PhD to move to England. We were on the phone and she's like, "I just think you need to go there for your PhD. Don't stay here." So
Isn't it cheaper?
so if you do it right, you shouldn't be paying for your PhD, period. Unless you're doing, like, online school or something, there's no reason for you. Um, but yeah, there's a lot of possibility there that I might live in London at some point, or just England in general. Ireland's another place that I would wanna spend a long time in. Scotland, Sweden. I love my focus in my literature was Greece, ancient Greece, so obviously I wanna spend a long, long time there. I wanna go to Italy. Tuscany? Kill me. I would love to go.
I'd do,
Envious
like, an
of Delaney's trip.
Airbnb there or something.
Huh?
Like, stay there, like, get an Airbnb there and, like,
Mhm.
do, like, a winery experience and, like I did this experience where this winery/farm, like, made home-cooked meals for you. It was, like, the
Oh,
best thing ever. It was so awesome.
I'm excited for you to come here because where I live in Washington, I'm, like, outside of Seattle, but the area I live in is a big wine area. They call it literally Napa Valley of Washington. And so there's so many wineries around here and places that I wanna try, but I'm like, I don't wanna just go drink wine by myself. I want somebody to come with me. And so I really wanna get into wine rather than just my bottles of barefoot.
We really wanna refine the palate.
Yes.
The
Um,
bottles of Barefoot.
I was Delaney and I FaceTime 3 times yesterday, first of all accumulating to over 6 hours of phone time. I did the math. I have a screenshot. I almost posted it on my Instagram, but I was like, "Ask Delaney before I do that."
Do it.
But, yeah, what was I saying? When we were on the phone, I was like, "Yeah, I'm drinking champagne and strawberry lemonade," and that feels like such a college thing still, but it's, like, one of my favorite things to drink is champagne and strawberry lemonade. Anyway,
If you were a cocktail. Champagne and
if I was a
strawberry
cocktail, I would be champagne and simply strawberry lemonade. God damn it. That's like a cheaper version of a French 75. Anyway, but yeah, so then I also wanna go to Canada. I have a lot of locations there, especially Quebec is, like, a big one that I
Mm,
want to go to. I wanna do Okay, I don't think I could do van life, but, like, a kind of trip where you drive around all 48 landlocked states
that would be cool.
for a
I feel
while.
like yeah, that would be it'd be a lot of confined spaces.
Yeah. But that's a dream trip I wanna do. New York, obviously. I haven't been to Florida since I was, like, 5 to 7, somewhere in that age range. I don't remember it. So, like, us talking about Disney, I really wanna go. Like,
I was
EPCOT,
younger when I
everything.
went, so, yeah, it's kinda like the similar boat. I
We
remember
were
it's
supposed to
just
go for my
foggy.
21st birthday, but then COVID. So, anyway, that wasn't COVID. No,
No,
that
I
was
think you
after COVID.
I just think your mom never pulled the trigger on it
Yeah, yeah, that's what it was.
because you were gonna go with your mom, I think.
Yeah. Um, Trying to think what else. I really wanna go to Egypt. That's a big
Okay.
one. I do wanna go to Japan for a while.
Hmm.
But yeah, my big one is a lot in Europe. I would love to do Rome for a little bit, but I'm more interested in Greece. And
One
yeah,
thing also on my bucket list, I think you would appreciate too. I wanna go to a ball, and
so bad, yes.
there's one at Versailles.
Don't a Versailles ball. Okay, this is
You
another
have to
thing that I
plan, like, you have to really plan because you have to plan, like, they're very particular on dress code,
Yep.
like, getting tickets for it, like, that's something we have like, the outfits alone is, like, the biggest part to plan.
Oh yeah. Well, and here's the thing. I was watching an interview with an author the other day, and one of the things that they always ask is like with your first like big paycheck that you get. Not a lot of authors get like big paychecks, but these like blow up authors
Yeah.
do. And they always ask like what's the first purchase that you made that's like unreasonable. And I was like, there is nothing that I would want to purchase that's unreasonable because the first thing I always think of if I were to get one of those big checks is I have student loans I want to pay off, or I want to pay off this, or I want to do that, which is all very reasonable. And I was like, I have nothing that I would want to be unreasonable about. And then I got thinking.
And then I got thinking.
And then I was looking up prices for like daggers and custom swords. And then
What?
I was looking at ball gowns. And then it just spiraled, Delaney. I don't know what happened. But yeah, so I like one of my possible unreasonable purchases could be a very much princess ball gown. So
I would love
that's
to
where that
have
was
one.
going.
I know most people rent them. Like, there's, like, a specific shop, and there's, like, one in Venice, I think. There's probably one in Rome. They're probably all over, but I think, like, there's a famous one in Venice maybe, and it's, like, a costume shop, and people, like, will rent them and then return them, but the dream, if I could, would get one, like, custom made so I can keep it as a memento.
Yep.
The problem with that is that's really expensive. Really expensive.
Yeah.
But
I don't know.
talking about kind of reasonable, unreasonable, that would be, like, ideal. That would be super cool.
Mhm. There are also we were talking about this for possible girls trips is like wellness camps, but there's also other kinds of camps. Like, I think you sent this to me a long time ago, but it was like a main character boot camp. And
Yes!
they have like
That would
sword fighting and archery, but also like a ball and things like that. And I'm like, those could be so fun. There's stuff like that that I think is so fun and so cool too.
I agree. Yeah, we thought about doing the wellness one as, and, in those, in meet in the middle states, they might have really good ones, and,
Yeah.
that's our purpose for going there, which I think that was also where I stemmed from meeting in the middle. There could be something like that where it's, like, an easy thing to just book and go, and it's all pre-planned, but those trips are obviously more expensive for a girls' trip than just going and winging it or just going to someplace in general that we
Yeah.
both wanted to go to and planning the Triple Crown winner of girls' trips, that we would obviously keep track of. Oh my god. That's gonna be so funny if looking back on it, we have, like, a whole episode on just that girls' trip, and people come back to this episode and they're like, "I remember when this was just an idea, and they really did it."
Somehow they pulled it off.
And they had Jackson Olson take him around the EPCOT.
I also want you to know
Hypotheticals.
we renamed our group chat. Delulu is the Salulu.
Yes.
That is our mantra for the year. So that's why Delaney is actually planning this out, because delusion has taken over.
It needs to. To make me happy, I need delusion. That's what I need.
And that is why we watch people we meet on vacation.
Yes, because imagine when you become a travel writer and you comp these trips for us. The
I'm ready
Triple
for the
Crown
day.
of girls' trips is really easy.
Mm-hmm.
If you think about it, going to London, writing about it, Boo put it on Payton's travel credit card. Delaney might be there. We will keep it a secret, but she'll probably be there. If anything, I will bring some content. It'll be great. I will bring some interesting stories to the travel blog just so I can join. I will be the travel companion that everyone's like, what's Delaney getting up to now? Oh, she did this? Ah, silly Delaney. Like, I will be a segment in your travel writing if it means I get to come with. But yeah, that would be killer. She literally just paid for all the vacations her and Alex got to do together.
It was killer.
Also, the fact that their first one was so chaotic is so funny to me. Out of all the things you pick as your first trip, you pick camping. I mean, Canada, obviously, because that was one of his bucket lists. But, you pick camping like that in the middle of the wilderness.
Okay, but it's Alex.
True. He's not gonna be like, I want to go to Paris, like Poppy. But
I don't know. I feel like for us, we'll have a good balance of that where we plan certain things, but also we are both very go with the flow and see what the fuck happens. That we're just going to be like, I know I do a ton of research, but I don't do a ton of itinerary making.
I'm a mix of both. When I went to Europe, I had to have an itinerary because there was things I wanted to see. I needed direction for, like, logistically where I was going, especially for the first time being in a country like that. Like, that was just what the vibe of the trip was. So I can do an itinerary, but also I could just do the winging it of showing up and being like, "Let's just do this," you know? Like, Seattle's kind of a mix of that, where we do have a mini itinerary, but we're also just kinda going with the flow at the same time, I feel like.
Mhm.
Living my
Yeah,
hoa,
we're
hoa,
going to
hoa dream.
Forks.
Hoa, 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 hoa.
We're going to Forks, and we have 0 plans while we're there.
No, I'll probably be geeking out the whole time if I'm gonna be honest.
We'll
My
see
head's
what
gonna be glued to
happens.
the window like this. I'll be like, "Pan, that's where that happened. Pan, remember that scene? That's where that happened. Pan, Pan, look at that. Pan, look, there's the printer. Pan, look, it's Bella's house. Oh my god, Pan, look, it's LaCush Beach. Pan, Pan." I'll be like a
The
fucking
push is a
seagull.
far, far distance.
I know, I'll just be like a seagull the whole time, though, is my point. It's probably gonna be between Tia and I, Tia's gonna pull out the book and be, like, reading off the scene, and I'm gonna be like, "Pan, look at this." I'm gonna be like Jack Skellington when he was in the Christmas Land, and he's like, "What's this? What's this?" Except for I'm gonna know what everything is, but my ADHD or anxiety or whatever the hell I have is gonna be kicking through the roof because I'm gonna be too excited to contain myself. Even if we're just driving around, I'll be like, "We're here. We're here." I'll be playing the soundtrack. I'm gonna be living and breathing this moment.
Delaney's gonna get glasses with the Twilight filter on them.
We're gonna be playing vampires in the woods, and someone's gonna see us and be like,
Forget
"What are they
mermaids on the
doing?"
beach. Our brand is vampires in the
Vampires and
woods.
werewolves in Forks, Washington's woods? Well, let's go to the field and recreate the baseball scene. I'll do the bat flip. Are you kidding me?
You'll do the backflip.
Not a backflip, the bat. BAT flip. Like what Jasper does when he's like, you know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. I'll do the
I
bat
don't
flip.
think you can do that.
I would have to practice. I'll probably hit myself in the eye, knowing me, but I'll be too happy to be there. Will we even care? Probably not. If anything, if I get hit in the eye, I'll probably be wishing
We'll
that
go to the
Carlisle was my
hospital and she'll
doctor.
be like, "This is the scene that they checked out. Bella's
I'll be like,
concussion."
"Where's Carlisle? I haven't on the rest of the trip. What happened to her? Oh, she hit herself trying to do the bat thing. You know the scene from Twilight?
If you can get that much height, I'll be impressed.
He just, like, whacks it, right? He just kinda, like,
I don't know. I haven't seen the film in a hot minute.
I think he just whacks it, like, he throws it up with his hand and, like, I think I know what he does logistically. I think I have an idea. Anyway, point is, we have no plan, but Delaney's excited nonetheless. She's ready to go. She's already planning hypotheticals in her head.
That's the moral of this episode. We have no plan, but we're
Oh, yeah. So excited. We literally just planned our Triple Crown winner for a freaking girls' trip of whenever this is gonna happen. We didn't plan, but there might be some subplots into the Twilight fantasy we will be living. Napa Valley wine, I'm gonna try that. We're gonna live our best life, and that's the way it's going to be. Oh goodness, my sinuses. I got way too excited there. My heart was thumping.
No, I'm excited. I think we have a lot of research to do to figure out and decide how much we can afford for this summer, because Delaney's already going on trips. I'm already going on trips, but none of them are with each other.
Well, technically, I'm just coming to you.
Yeah.
But we aren't traveling together per se. But I will be seeing you on one said trip.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think of like the funniest, most chaotic moments of like trips. Peyton almost getting on a fucking fist fight in our last Boji trip. That was chaotic.
I think about that sometimes, and I wonder if they're out there listening to us.
Oh, I thought you were gonna be like, and I wish I just would have did the first swig or something like that.
You know, I think about other things I could have said. That Delaney would have been beating my ass with them if I would have.
I was very non-confrontational in that moment. I'm trying to think of the catamaran in Cancun was kind of insane. I felt so bad because this is the picture I'll paint for you, right? Catamaran, via motion sickness. She's throwing up. There's like a group of really cool, badass old people in this boat. I actually shared a birthday with one of them, ironically. I
Love
don't
that.
remember their names. Via had to go to the back of the boat, puking her guts out the entire time. Shigeru and I were having a good time. I got hella sunburnt. I made friends with this like couple. I remember finishing off like a goat tequila or something in a van or something like that, going home, and then Tia just like, I just remember you flipping your flip flops in the air and it was game over. The catamaran was so fun. That was awesome. Except for Via, R.I.P. But we just find out she can't go on boats like that. Clubbing till 2 a.m. That was another Cancun moment.
Yeah,
I also
well,
lost my friends. Like, I hung out with a whole different group for like almost the entire day on that
I
trip.
remember that. I remember you telling me about that.
Yeah, everyone was like in the hotel rooms, and again, I was the go friend, and we made friends with some girls from a different college. Yeah, so I hung out with them for one of the days, which was cool. And I'm still friends with some of them. I still talk to some of them, which is ironic. Oh yeah. Are you the type of person? Someone, I think it was Ethan. I don't know who told me this, but they're like, how do you make connections with people on vacation? Like, how do you like meet someone and you guys are still talking to this day? Like, are you that type of person? Is that like a stigma?
I feel like I am that kind of person for some things. Like, there were girls that we met at the AJR concert that we went to
True.
that I still have on social media, and sometimes we still comment on each other's stuff and whatnot.
Weren't they sisters or no?
No, they were just friends.
Oh.
And, like, stuff like that. I think one of the things that I loved, gonna go back to the film because it was, wow, fabulous. But I like the fact that she talks about you can be who you truly are on vacation without, like, the perceptions that people have pinned on you.
True.
And I think that's a fun thing about it is getting to connect with people who don't know a thing about you, and you get to start fresh. And I think that's what I enjoyed most about moving to a city that nobody knew me, is now, like, their perception of me is very different from everyone who's known me for such a long time, which is such a fresh thing, and I think that's the fun part about making these connections on trips. I definitely do that once in a while. Not all the time, but I don't know. I need to travel more. I am not well traveled as of right now. So, we'll see what kind of traveler I am.
I would say it's becoming to be one of those things I value a lot in my life or find
Oh,
important. Like, I like to experience these new things because I would say for my age, I'm well traveled to an extent. But I also feel like I'm not as well versed in like solo trips as well.
yeah.
But I've also like learned from trips from like Europe and even like Cancun if like things go wrong, like what kind of traveler I am, what things I'm okay with and not okay with, like how I can go through the flow, but I might need an itinerary too, depending on if it's a brand new place or not.
Yeah.
Or like how easy it is for me to plan a trip and put it together. But also, like, I'm not necessarily the type. Sometimes I'm also like the cheapest way is the best way because I'm usually like, if I'm going in on a trip, it's 110% all in. But that's
Mhm.
why sometimes I'll need a person to balance me out and be the more responsible, like, hey, you should think about this because what if this goes wrong? And like, I don't think about that as often. Sometimes I do if it's like a really big trip. But if it's, like, in my mind, I'm like, I just wanna get there and go, I don't think about those things as often as well, which is just another thing that planning trips has taught me with, different types of people. I think, like, a good mix of a girl group going on a girls' trip is, like, obviously, you have, like I feel like if you have, like, a little chunk of the spontaneous people who are, like they'll get the planners to go do things that you've never done before, or they create the story sometimes that, like, you go back and you tell about the trip, like, "Oh, do you remember when so and so did this? That was so funny." But it resulted in us going to a new place we didn't even think about putting on our itinerary. You
Yeah.
need the planners, you need a safety planner, and you need a fun planner. Why these 2 are in different categories, the safety planner plans the not fun stuff. But they're like, "We need XYZ because these things could go wrong, and it's important for a huge trip." But they're also the ones who are they will stick to the itinerary, they will not move away from it.
Yeah.
And so you need that spontaneous people to bring them into the itinerary, like, to bring them into a memory. Whereas the fun planner will plan the fun stuff, but I also think, like, that personality should also be, like, a go with the flow type of person, like, yes, I planned some fun things, but also, like, "Oh, this looks cool, I saw this on TikTok, let's try this."
Mhm.
I think that's a good mix. You need someone, usually that's the not fun planner, to hold all of the different logistical plans, hotel books, airline tickets. Like, you need someone as, like, the hub, like the safety hub. There's like should be like I feel like there's 2 categories. There's like safety hub, fun hub. And there's different branches of women on each. But you need both to make up the middle ground of the Venn diagram, which is the girls' trip. Did that make any sense, or was I just spewing nonsense? Because that really played out well in my brain.
I think it makes sense.
I think that's like a dream lineup. But reason why girls' trips don't go well, they're not balanced lineup. You don't have the star players for each. You either have one too many on this side or one too many on this side, and that can create conflict.
I think it also is trips like this show how selfless or selfish someone can be,
Uh,
is a big reason that there's a lot of conflict, is because you find out who cares about the betterment of the group or the betterment of themselves.
T.
And I think you and I are 2 people who care too much about community, and if we had someone thrown in the mix who's like, "I only care that I have a good time and that my needs are taken care of, I don't care about yours," that's when it becomes a problem.
T.
And those people think that they're creating boundaries when they're just being a problem. Sorry, I'm on Reddit too
Preach!
much.
Preach! You're on Reddit?
I love Reddit stories.
Of girls' trips that gone wrong?
Yes. We should have prepared some. What the heck? I don't want us to be a we read Reddit podcast, but I listen to those a lot, and sometimes I'm like, I love it. They itch something in my brain.
The Reddit story times?
Yes, because they cure my I am not a dramatic person. I do not have a lot of drama in my life. And watching and listening to those help keep me that way.
Yeah, I feel that. I feel like too it like helps to compare, like, "Oh, our trip could have went so much worse. Look at
Yeah.
this." It makes yourself feel better.
Us being indecisive was not as big of an issue as I thought it
Yeah,
was.
like, I got in a fight with Stacy because she wanted to do this and I wanted to do this, but we ended up doing my thing. Oh, that is not as bad as what that girl Stacy did, and she fucking invited a guy over in her hotel
Order
room
She
or whatever
ordered
the hell.
$800 bottle service and made everyone else
Everyone
pay
paid
for
for
it who didn't drink it? You are
Oh my
crazy.
god. What would be your biggest, like, pet peeve? Like, that to me would drive me the fucking nuts, especially if no one wanted it. That would drive me nuts.
I think one of the biggest problems with girls' trips is money.
Yes.
It's not the money aspect becomes an issue because, when you're hanging out at home, you're not losing out on a ton of money. But when you're on trips, money is the biggest issue. So when somebody's making everyone else pay for something that they didn't want to pay for, they didn't sign up for, that's when the biggest issues come. I am also on wedding and bachelorette TikTok. And those Reddit stories especially are the ones that really get me because yes, you want to do things for the bride, but I am not paying for somebody else's trip unless we're besties. Like Dalany's wedding, you best believe Dalany is not paying a dime on her bachelorette trip if that's what she decides she wants to do. But not everybody has signed up to pay for Dalany. I signed up to pay for Dalany. I decided I didn't want Dalany to pay for stuff. That is not everybody else's problem. Money is the biggest issues on
I
girls'
think
trips.
one thing, and this is, like, another thing that kind of would drive me nuts, like, lack of trust. Like, if like, if there's people who have, like, traveled and yet they're taking, like, I get it if they haven't traveled before, right? Like, you never know. It's a jack in the box. It's literally it's a wild card what kind of traveler they're gonna be. If you're on someone's first trip with someone, it'll either go extremely well, you click, or you just don't click and you find out the hard way. But I feel like for people who have traveled before, it's like that could create tension too of like the anxious traveler versus the calm traveler. Like, sometimes it's like, "Why don't you trust this to work out?" And it's like, "No, it's not that I don't trust it to work out, it's just, like, things just don't work out, like, XYZ because of things that have happened in the past or, like, examples of things they've heard or whatever." So it might not be, like, a direct thing, but I've definitely know, like, in the past, I've taken a direct offense to if someone was like, "Hey, like, this I'm worried on this trip because of past behaviors from you," and I'm like, "Well, this I would never do something like that, and you know me. Why would you think
Mhm.
I would ever do that?" And they'd be like, "Because of this." I'm like, "Well, that's a different situation than this. Like, this
Yeah.
is 2 different ball games here, you know? Like, you're comparing 2 like, apples to fucking beans. They're 2 different things." Like, I don't know. That's something that drives me nuts too, is, like, lack of trust of, like, "Okay, we're in this trip together. I trust everyone to have a good time and to, like, own up to their shit," type of deal, you know?
Mhm.
But it's also different expectations of people, just like you said about, like, the example of the bachelorette trip. Like, everyone expects everyone to hold their own, but, like, you if you don't have that the trifecta of the girls' trip diagram, it's like those expectations are not gonna be met and things will create tension and fly out the window. So you need the
Yeah.
people who can resolve the tension or just, like, not care enough and are just, like, calm.
I think another thing is you have to have really, really good communication for a lot of things.
Yes.
I got invited to a bachelorette party. We've talked about this. I have no clue about anything for this trip, and it's coming up in April, and I'm at the point where I'm just like, I'm not going. Like, as of right now, I am not going because I have no clue what we're doing, where we're staying, what's going on, what I'm expected to pay. I have zero communication of that. Therefore, I don't feel confident to have a good time on this trip because I don't even know what this trip looks like as of right now. And if I don't have communication right now, what's it going to be like on the trip if I say something or do something that upsets someone? And you kind of talked about this being our problem a little bit. But, like, if you can't communicate what's going on, or just move the fuck past it until the trip is over, that is another thing. Because this is another Reddit story that I heard about where some of the girls got mad at some of the other girls on a bachelorette trip, so they iced them out, and the girls were like, "Yeah, I don't wanna do this. I think I'm gonna go home early because I don't wanna deal with this." And then the bride got pissed off because they left. They were like, "We are thinking about leaving early." And she was like, "Why would you do this?" And they're like, "Well, because of this." And she's like, "Well, that's your fault, your problem." That's, like, the biggest thing. Communication and just keeping the vibes good. I don't care how you feel. Quite frankly, you gotta keep the peace on this trip, otherwise, you're just gonna make it awful for everyone, including yourself.
And with communication, accountability.
Yes.
Secret Lives of Mormon Wives bring up accountability, I swear, a million frickin' times. But accountability, a simple "I'm sorry, I understand your pain, I messed up," or even "I'm sorry for lashing out, I don't understand this, let's talk about it." Like, that in itself could go so a long ways. A simple "I'm sorry, let's figure this out, let's
Let
move
me
on."
fix it.
Let me fix it. You know, yeah, like, let's not let this bubble up because here's the biggest volcanoes of girls' trips of why they go in to being friends, come out no one's friends. One, passive aggressiveness. And they let these little things build and build like a volcano. It's building. It's not erupted yet, but you know she's going to blow at some point. until one thing sends one person off the edge, and it's a chain reaction. You're setting off the volcano. The dominoes are falling down in the tube of the volcano, and everything erupts. And that goes at the end. And by the time it hits the end, there's no time to communicate. There's no time to take accountability. It's the end. And you're in the car or you're on the plane and you are completely silent. No one is saying 2 words to each other until a month later when everyone's cooled off and we go, what the hell was that? And that's what happens, people. So don't let that happen. Own up to it right away. If something's bothering you, like, voice it. Say something to someone. Don't tell it to the friend that isn't doing said action, isn't doing the thing. Because if you do that, yes, I understand there's a keeping the peace mentality, but you don't know if there's a million others feeling the same way you do. And again, that could it's the volcano. You're building the volcano. Don't build it. Let's just make it flat. Do something. How do you disarm a volcano? Do something to disarm it.
Disarm the volcano.
Yeah, don't wait till it's too late. Accountability and communication. But again, you don't need that if you have the
And don't
trifecta Venn diagram of girls trip, girl attendees. But that's not the reality of the situation, people.
and don't mess with a bitch's wallet.
Period. Clock it.
All right. That's the show, darlings.
Cue the can.